So today me and Sunny, have the exquisite pleasure of welcoming Vance or Vance Morris to our little show here in the other edges of the internet. No, so for anyone that's tuned in before, welcome. For anyone new, welcome as well. I hope you enjoy. And as everyone know, the goal for today is to I'm not going to say unbox as Morris, but at least get a feel for his philosophy, the way he sees business or the interaction between people in business, whichever way it goes. Sonny, hi.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be, whatever time zone you might be in. Good to see you again.
Yeah.
I think we have them all covered right now.
We do. We have the Northern, we have Europe, we have Australia and the United States. So it's 11 o'clock at night time for me. So it'll be what, afternoon for you, Vance, and morning, Arvid, for you, I'm
No,
thinking?
it's actually 1 o'clock here because I think Vance, are you in
7
Manchester right
a.m.
now?
7 a.m. here.
7 a.m. So yeah, so we got all the bases covered. Vance, would you like to just give a short introduction of yourself and who you are?
Yeah, I suppose I could. So, hello, Vance Morris here on the East Coast of Maryland. And I think my claim to fame has been I worked for the Disney company for a little over 10 years and have managed to take a lot of what I learned there, the systems and the processes. I don't touch the politics of the company because that's not what I'm there for. But have been able to take those processes for customer experience, for customer retention, and been able to apply them to varying different industries. Um, I've found that I make a lousy employee. I don't like to be told what to do, which would probably also explain my two ex-wives. I'm just being honest, guys. But I mean, there's something to be said there as well. I don't suffer fools very easily, and there's just no time for dancing around the issues. Let's just, I've been called the stern but loving parent when it comes to my coaching members and my clients, because I just don't dance around the subject. It's like, okay, here it is, good, go. For the last 18 years, I think one of the things that separates me as a business consultant is here in the States, I still own 3 bricks and mortar home service businesses. So I've got a mold remediation company, a oriental rug washing facility, and a carpet cleaning company. Grew those from zero. So it wasn't like I bought into a company, but grew those companies. Today, I spend about 90 minutes a week on those companies. I've been able to put them on autopilot, put a general manager in charge, which gives me the time now to go around and help other businesses with their customer experience and their retention. I don't know about Europe and Australia, but here in the US, customer service kind of sucks for lack of a better word. And I'm kind of on a one-man mission to try and fix all that. So I've got my consulting business. I've got one of the fun things I get to do is actually take business groups down to Disney for 3 and 4 day full immersion boot camps. So we'll spend almost a week down there learning what Disney does, and then my job is to show you how to adapt what Disney is doing into your profession, whether you be a dentist or a physiotherapist or carpet cleaner or whatever. And 4 kids, three of them are out of the house. Mostly. And my daughter's a senior in high school. And she, by the way, is the one I shamelessly use in all of my marketing, because when she was 5, she was really cute. So
She's obviously very marketable, right?
yeah. Oh, extremely.
Vance, I'm curious, like Disney is synonymous with service. It's synonymous with making kids and adults for that matter, feel good about themselves. They get that feel good factor when they enter the theme parks. The whole concept of Disney. And you mentioned that customer service in the United States, and it's the same in Australia. The level of service is pretty low, and it's fallen progressively over quite some period of time. What are we fundamentally getting wrong in service delivery, according to you?
We're losing the basics. I'm surprised at the number of companies that don't answer their telephone live. You get the voicemail, and like all of my companies, you will get a live person when you call. And these days, to me, that's my competitive advantage. Is I don't have AI or a bot answering the phone. I got like a real guy. I think also we look at what everybody else is doing in our industry, and we think that's what we're supposed to be doing, so we copy it. And it just becomes this incestuous cycle that I'll give you a quick example. So when I was starting my carpet cleaning business, I went just back when we still had the telephone book, and I was going through the pages looking to see how I was going to design my ad, and I noticed that every single ad had a picture of a van or a truck in it. Now, what's that got to do with carpet cleaning? I mean, we assume you can drive around and get places. I mean, it's just taking up space in the ad. So I'm thinking to myself, well, that's pretty dumb. So I was able to put 2 or 3 testimonials in the ad versus a picture of my van. And then I'm flipping through the rest of the thing, and plumbers do the same thing. Electricians do the same thing. They all got a picture of their truck. Like, well, yeah, we expect you to come to the house. I mean, you don't need to show us a picture of your van. So I think really it's people just can't get out of the silo that they are in of their little bubble. And they think because they're doing okay, that's enough. What I try to tell people and show people really is that you don't always have to be getting new customers all the time, because that's what everybody's been brainwashed into. New leads, more customers. And we don't focus on our existing customers, which are actually the most profitable. So quickly, I just got the numbers for November. It cost me $136 to get a new customer in the front door for my home service business. $136. That's not cheap. But it only cost me $22 a year to keep a customer. So the minute that I serve an existing customer, I'm already $100 more profitable just by doing that. And people nobody talks about it. So I think it's just kind of something that's glossed over. It's certainly not sexy, like, ooh, Google ads. Ooh, wow. It's more about creating the relationships and more about creating, emotional connections. So I think a lot of people forget that they have a personality and they don't allow that to come through in their business. They kind of just treat the business as a thing as opposed to people working in it, because people do business with people. They don't do business with businesses. And so, yeah, and there's 3 or 4 reasons right there. I think that people just aren't getting it.
I can add some numbers to your estimates that's been proven now in the latest research. In general, a retained client will buy services for at least 30% more than the ones you have. And that's obviously because they have trust in you. So if you say you need this, they'll say, yeah, I probably do. I trust you. Okay, this is good because we have a relationship. As you say, you buy from people, not businesses. The second thing is obviously the best confirmation a client of yours can have on their wiseness, how smart they were when they bought your home services, is obviously if one of their friends or families buys the same. So you have the best ambassadors and you have people willing to pay more and are extremely less expensive to buy. And still, I do buy the narrative you're presenting. This has been something I've been fighting for as well. Customer attention is extremely undervalued in business in general. You kind of, was this based from your experiences from Disney? Because I do foresee that they are quite good at customer experience, retention, and all these things. Or is this something you worked out afterwards in your new businesses?
I mean, I knew at the time. So if you went to Disney today, 80% of the people that are in the park today have been there before, which is only 20% new. And now I figured if that ratio is good enough for Disney, it's good enough for me and my company. So that's what we try to attain to, 80%. We're down in the low 70s, which is really good, I think. But I knew I didn't know it firmly at Disney, because when you're working there, those aren't the kinds of things that they talked about, but we could see it anecdotally in, the guests that would come back to our restaurants or our resort year after year after year and ask for the same server for the restaurant year after year. I mean, I was on the design team for this restaurant called Chef Mickey's, where Mickey Mouse goes around the tables and greets you and does autographs while you're sitting there having dinner. And we always had a long wait. The reservations were always, 3 months out. And we had a family come up, and we weren't that busy that day. Family come up and said, yeah, we're table for 4. And I was like, okay, great. About 5-10 minutes, we'll be able to get you in. And they said, oh no, we want to sit with Cindy. I'm like, well, Cindy's station is full right now. It's going to be, a long time. I can get you seated real soon. Oh no, we'll wait. Only Cindy waits on us. So, I mean, Cindy is one of 85,000 employees down at Disney World. And there is this family that has created this emotional connection with Cindy. And it happened all the time. And so, it's really, I don't think I was thinking the numbers at the time, but I was seeing it in action. The people that just came coming back and coming back and coming back.
You both, may I?
Just curious. Yeah, please, after you.
Both of you guys are business people. Would anyone of you say that real business growth without customer retention is possible? Or obviously it's possible, but that cannot be a smart play.
It's possible, but you're going to go broke.
And you're working exceptionally hard.
You won't have any money left over, because it's just, acquiring a customer is, next to, I don't know, payroll is probably one of the most expensive things you're going to do in your business, is get a new customer.
But let me throw something slightly a different slant in this. Some positions, for example, in medical, certain doctors, there's different types of doctors, obviously different niches. Some do procedures whereby it's new patients, and they need a funnel coming through whereby they've got to get new patients in all the time, and that's just the nature of their business. Whereas other specialties, it's repeat business where they have to come back every 3 months for eye injections, for example. So it also depends upon your business model. But though, if you're requiring new business every month, you're working a lot harder for your assets. You work your assets a lot harder. That's the thing. But if it's there reoccurring, you've got to still nurture those relationships and keep them sticky. Otherwise, they will go.
Right.
Can we bring this into, for example, the Apple universe? For me, it's always been an example that I use when I talk to my clients or does lectures. I say, okay, on one hand, you have Ericsson or Sony, the Japanese multi-billion-dollar company from the 80s that invented everything, and they have great telephones. Their telephones can do everything. You find all the apps and everything. Whereas Apple has the same. There's no, obviously everyone will say the experience is different and stuff like that. But from a technical point of view, they're quite similar. And yet, Apple have built their universe ensuring that everyone keeps buying their iPhones. Thus, their customer lifetime valuation is through the fucking roof. Excuse the language. I'm sorry, that was profound. But still, whereas Sony they can only count their client once, maybe twice. They'll buy one Sony, maybe two, but they'll never buy three or four. They're not going to bring in the family and stuff like that. And then you see the valuation of these companies. One is a $2 trillion company, which is, I know that's probably top 5 country in the world. And the other one, which used to be a major player in this game in the 80s and the 90s and everything, they are a couple of $100 billion. So still a lot of money, but they're nowhere near. And to me, that's all about, one of them being exceptional at customer attention and customer experience, whether the other one really isn't. They're good, but they're not, bull takers. What do you think, guys? Make sense?
Yeah. And
What do you
I
think,
would,
Vance?
yeah, I mean, I think Apple, similar to Harley Davidson motorcycles, similar to Disney, they have created, it's a cult. I mean, it really, truly is. I mean, when Apple launches a new product, there's a line wrapped around the building 6 times. When Google announces a new telephone, I mean, you might find 1 or 2 people in the store. I mean, it's because they have created this community, and they have created these emotional connect. I mean, you talk to an Apple person, and I mean, they're like psychotic about it. Well, they are. I mean, it's it's like, oh my God, I can't believe you're an idiot. You don't use Apple, and so it's it was all was obviously with Steve Jobs, the details of everything that went into one of his computers on the inside as well. I mean, the outside was gorgeous, but he wanted the inside to be gorgeous as well. And I think it's this specific attention to detail that Walt Disney had, or Steve Jobs had, in order to create this, I don't want to say flawless, but a really incredible experience. I mean, you go into the Apple store, and I mean, these people, they live and breathe Apple. They know everything, and they're ready to take care of you. And most of the time, they don't even really want you to buy another one. They just want to help you fix the one you got or figure out how to use it. And then, of course, if it's 6 generations old, you should probably upgrade.
How do you, Vance? How do you, when you're coaching your clients, how do you help them develop their own ecosystems where it's a sticky system whereby they're part of the eye jail, if I could use an Apple kind of metaphor?
Right.
What sort of things are you teaching your clients to do?
Well, I mean, first and foremost, you have to map out your customer journey, and each individual touch point where your company and the client interact is a point on that journey. Even waiting is a point on the journey. So, I mean, some of us will, have a meeting, and then there's a period of waiting, and then there's another meeting. So there's really 3 steps there, not 2, because you got to do it from the point of view of the customer. So that waiting period is crucial. That point on the customer journey is crucial because the customer is sitting there doing nothing. Now, you in the background may be getting forms together or contracts or whatever, but the customer is just sitting there. Now, they have a chance to second guess their purchase. They may have buyer's remorse. All these things could be going through their head where they may not make it to the second meeting. So we have to do something in between those two and identify that point. I think going through that process, and identifying the points where we can make the greatest impact, and create an experience out of the boring, mundane things we have to do day in and day out is certainly one. The other is creating an emotional connection. Because once you have that, your customers are never leaving you. Quick example, I mentioned earlier that, I shamelessly use my children in my marketing. So my daughter, when she was 5, was in ballet, and I took a picture of her for a recital. She was in her little tutu, and I put it in my newsletter that I send out to all my customers. And I did that every year. She did the recital. I did the picture, went out. She was probably 10 or 11 years old. We're in the grocery store. And this woman comes running up to us and says, "Oh my God, Emma, how was your recital?" And I'm like, my daughter, she was like, "Who the hell is this lady? We're going to go run and hide in the frozen food section." And I had to think, wait, she's got to be one of my clients. This woman has watched my children grow up over 10 years. We've created that emotional connection. She's going to die before we ever stop doing business with her, because that's how tight that bond is. And I think especially smaller businesses need to create that and stop looking so corporate-y and really go for the gut and get, hook that emotion in there, because, well, Coca-Cola does that. I mean, it's an emotional company. Look at their commercials. If you look at, their competitors, they're all about the product. Coca-Cola is all about the feeling. Disney, again, all about the feeling, not the rides. Apple, it's all about the prestige of Apple, not the actual thing that you've got in your hand. So there's
No, but
a lot of evidence for that.
No, but it's and you'll find it in all kinds of research as well. It's just like when Coca-Cola puts billions of dollars into the Olympics, they want to connect with the values, the feeling, as you said, the emotions. What's also proven, which is nice, obviously, is that as long as you sold a product or a service to someone, as long as you can hold a good argument for why the product worked or even didn't work, people will be willing to keep buying for you, because at the end of the day, they made a calculated decision when they went out and did the purchase. They did the due diligence, and this is where I ended up. And as long as you can give them a proper explanation why it worked or why it didn't work, and you can keep telling them that, wow, you are a really smart person. You chose me as your real estate agent. That's the best choice ever. You're the smartest home seller ever. And you keep telling them that for the next 3 or 4 years. Well, surprise, surprise. The next time they're going to sell their home, they will remember you. Yep. So I'm fully on board with the experience thing. Would you say that is this, when building community, how important is the branding part of this, the marketing part? Because obviously you have to how do you build the connection to the client is for a small to medium business, would a newsletter suffice?
I think, let's take brand building. To me, is a happy byproduct of all of the things that go into the customer experience. Our businesses are not big enough where we can just put, the words Goodyear on a blimp and fly them over a stadium and hope we sell tires. I mean, we don't have that kind of money. And I guarantee you, Goodyear has no idea how many tires they sold when the blimp flew over top of the stadium. They don't know. They can't, I defy anybody to call and ask.
Yeah, you can't quantify that. Yeah, you can't quantify that.
But we do have to, take that branding, as said, as a byproduct, because it then turns into word of mouth marketing on steroids. And people will refer you because of the feeling that you gave them, not that you fixed their toilet, because we assume that doing your thing is entry into the marketplace, right? If you're a plumber, we assume that you know how to fix pipes. What we're not expecting is, a nice, you show up on time, you show up clean, and you don't smell. I mean, those are just all add-on things. But, when you're looking at the marketing of it, now, as I mentioned in my Yellow Book Pages ad, I used customer testimonials in there, and those arose from the experience that we delivered. And I firmly believe if you don't have strong marketing, your customer experience could be, unreal, and still nobody's going to know about it. I do think, as far as a customer retention tool, a newsletter is vital. Absolutely. I have done a print newsletter now for my home service businesses for 15 years straight. haven't missed a month. And the newsletter is kind of like Reader's Digest light. It's just light stories, nothing about, carpet cleaning or mold or anything like that. It's just, I have one section called Stupid Criminal Stories, like the idiots that go out and they'll rob a store and they do something stupid and they get caught. I ran that for like 4 years and I got tired of it. So I replaced it with something else in the newsletter. I got more phone calls, people complaining, where's the stupid criminal stories? Why'd you change? And so that told me a couple of things. One, people are actually reading the newsletter and they're enjoying the content that I'm providing. Um, and so, you it's not your customer's job to remember you. It's your job as the business to remind customers that you exist. So yes, I think customer retention marketing is vital to keeping it going. A monthly newsletter, emails, postcards, telephone calls, little gifts every now and then. They all play into it.
I think your customers will they'll always decide on emotion and justify logic afterwards. Just to build on one story, you're talking about electricians. I'm part of a networking group, and the person who's the electrician in this networking group, when he gets up and does his spiel, he'll say, I'm so and so. This is my company. We're electricians. We do this, 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 and we're on time and we clean up after ourselves. And that's kind of what sets him apart from the rest. That's what makes him a little bit special. People go, that's interesting. Let's try him out. He's also he's a character as a person. He's very charismatic. He's quite funny. He's quite humorous. So he really kind of reels you in. He's not doing that with pretension. He's being quite sincere and genuine. And that's one of his ace in the hole. That's one of his arsenal.
But and then you're exactly right. I mean, the electrician, we do wiring, we do this, we do that. Those are the things. But now the separator, like we actually show up on time.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like earth shattering these days, but that's brilliant.
Vance, can I ask you, what would you say your strengths has been as a businessman for the last 15 years? This is for our guests, obviously, because if someone wants to, learn or do your stuff, their strength should probably be somewhere in the region, Yeah.
Yeah. First and foremost, I see things that other people don't see.
Attention to detail.
And just attention to detail. It drives me nuts. Go to a restaurant and there's a fork on the floor, and the server walks over it, the busboy walks over it, the manager walks over it. I'm like, isn't anybody paying attention here? I mean, this is insane. I think the other thing though is tenacity or stick-to-itiveness. I don't let many things get in my way, and I will keep going until I get to the point. When I first started my businesses, I had been fired. I think I told you guys that earlier. I make a lousy employee. So we were supposed to live off of my wife's salary. She was a regional manager for this coffee company that we all know. The 2 days after I signed the contracts to start this business, she had a cerebral aneurysm, blood vessel in her brain went poof, and she's fine now, but she was 11 days in neuro ICU, et cetera, et cetera. And our nice mid 6-figure salary went down to 0 overnight. And I'm like, oh crap, I got to really get this going. But I credit my tenacity, my not giving up, because I could have easily done that and just said, "Oh, the hell with it, I'll go get another job at least until my wife gets better." But I was like, "No, we're gonna make this work." And I think the other thing is looking outside and getting as many mentors, coaches that you possibly can get. And I'm not saying you actually have to hire somebody. I mean, Jim Rohn is, great in getting people excited and mindset and things like that. Well, the man's been dead for I don't know how many years, so just go get one of his books. Now you've got a coach in your back pocket. Same thing with with any part of business is find someone or someone's that can really guide you through the process. Get Michael Gerber's The E-Myth. There's all sorts of things you can do to help yourself grow, as opposed to just sitting there and making mistakes over and over and over again and getting frustrated.
Can I
I'm
just
assuming.
summarize a little bit okay, so pay attention to details, stick to the plan, learn from those better than you, and remember the experience through and through. Is that, yeah? We are
Yeah, pretty much.
there or there.
If you had to sum up my life, yeah, there it is.
I was just trying to sum up the business philosophy, but yeah, this is one of the theories that me and Sonny has been working on. And as we start, is that okay, we need to present more people out there with different strengths and different mindsets, so people can find someone they actually, okay, I can connect with this guy. This makes
Right.
sense to me. It's like not everyone shouldn't be analyst. Yeah. Sonny, I'm
Right.
so sorry. Yeah.
No, that's all right. Just if you could do this again, like press stop, rewind, and go back to the beginning. What's one thing you'd do differently?
I would have taken my advice a lot sooner, because I was that stubborn guy, going out. I didn't get my first coach or even really get my first book on business till I was in business for 2 years. Because I thought, well, hey, you go get clients, you serve the clients, and you keep going. And I realized that, I hadn't even taken my own advice about the Disney stuff, because I was in um, a business which is not exactly high in the upper echelons of home service businesses. We were down, pretty low. We were looked down upon. And it wasn't until I was like, you know what, you idiot, you used to work for Disney. Turn this into the Disney of carpet cleaning. And that's when I went from bottom feeder, lowest price, coupon clipping, miserable, to now focusing on affluent clients who would appreciate the experience and the service that I'm delivering and are willing to pay for it. And I would have done, instead of wasting 2 years, I would have, on my day one, I would have said, you're going to be the Disney of carpet cleaning. You're going to, and we're going to do this, this, and this. And I would have probably had more hair on my head if I, hadn't missed out on that.
So to identify something, someone, some strength, at least it digs into the learning from those better than you, and set goals and get going.
Yeah, I mean, for those that don't set goals, I think you're an idiot, because you have nothing to shoot for. You have nothing to improve to. And I'm not a big fan of New Year's resolutions and things like that. Actually, I don't even pay attention to the calendar. Like, oh, my goals for 2026. No, I've got my goals for this month. I've got my goals for the next quarter, and I've got my goals for the next 365 days and 5 years, etc. I don't really pay attention. I don't wait until January to, oh, well, it's, I got 6 weeks till the new year. My goal is for 2026. So I'm going to wait till 2026 to start it. I mean, that's just kind of silly. So I kind of ignore the calendar when it comes to goals and things like that.
This reminds me of some athletes I've been working with for quite some time. They have the same the idea that consistency, just keep doing what you're doing, eventually we will get better. And if you have some goals, you have something to benchmark your progress towards.
Right.
Goals are good as aspirations. That's where I'm heading. But the real value is just the day-to-day stuff, the execution that you do, the routine, mundane, boring stuff that you do every day that will compound upon itself. Because that, in theory, should get you to your goals, in theory, right? Because sometimes the reality is sometimes we don't hit our goals and we do everything right. we do everything right, but we don't hit our goals. How do you respond to that, Vance?
Well, I mean, I'll look back and I'll say, well, was the goal attainable or realistic? And like right now, I'm doing a marketing campaign to one of the NFL players, Travis Kelce, the guy who's Taylor Swift's boyfriend. You might know him from that, as opposed to being an
That's the
NFL
only reason
player.
why I know him. Actually, that's the only reason.
But he and some investors have purchased a stake in an amusement company here called Six Flags. I don't think they're outside of the U.S.
We've seen the
and so I
movies.
got to.
About it.
Do you haven't?
And we heard about it. Six Flags. It's
Oh, you
famous.
have? Oh, okay.
Yeah. What about it?
So I got this harebrained idea that you know what, Travis Kelce needs my help in turning Six Flags around. And because if you look at their quarterly and annual reports, which I studied, they talk about customer service and improving it. But in the last 3 years, they haven't done anything about it. So I'm like, well, so they're all talk and, no muscle. So last week I started a mail campaign to Travis Kelce and the Six Flags people and the private equity people, saying, give me a call. I'm gonna help you out here. That's a huge goal. One, it wasn't a goal until I read the news, and then I'm like, oh well, why not? Let's try it. So I'll keep you guys updated if that turns out.
Sounds amazing. So, okay, now we've been here for 36 minutes, and on average, this is kind of what the listeners likes to consume, more or less.
Yeah.
Vance, this was amazing. What I would like to do is to be allowed to bring you back on the show, if that's okay with you at some point.
Wow, I didn't know I made such an impression, but
no,
sure.
The thing is,
I'm an acquired taste. People can only usually handle me for about 10 minutes, and then they're like, I'm out of here.
It's like an encore, Vance. It's like an encore.
Okay.
No, the thing is that, Vance, it's like, if we are going to bring some good advice out there, we need to talk to people who are willing to share the stories and share the philosophy. Basically, it's that simple. And not only to talk about what you have done, but to talk about other cases as well. Because the more competence we have on the inside, the easier it will be for us to break it down to something tangible and obtainable. And I feel that the chemistry around this imaginary table today was quite good. So this was fun. I really appreciated it.
Thank you. No, I had a lot of fun. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Sorry, any last words from down under before you have to go to bed?
I think what you do, Vance, is very cool in the respect that service standards are declining across the board. And I come from a hotel management background. That's kind of where I cut my teeth. And we're always taught where you got to wow the customer, you got to keep them coming back, keep them as sticky customers. And a lot of these big corporate companies have done exceptionally well, but it's now incumbent for us to roll that out at a solopreneur / micro business / small business perspective. So taking those same principles from Disney and relaying back into day-to-day life, which is digestible and it's easy to follow. I think that's a huge part of what we do. So I enjoyed what you have to say. I love your message. I think it's something we should all take something and move forward and really, really get into it.
So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to stop recording and we'll just keep hanging around for 30 seconds. Yeah.